Yeah, let's do a summary. Obviously, not going to talk about everything that happened on Battery Day. It would take 3.5 hours, so we're not going to do that. But what we will do is touch on three things. First of all, the battery that was introduced yesterday is a much larger battery. So we're looking at basically a 46 by 80. And of course, the battery net, that's rather large. It's about 500% larger capacity. And,
I'm just confusing you. Sorry.
46 by 80 what? Was there a unit?
Millimeters.
Centimeters.
I've been saying it's about the size of a toilet paper roll, which is not exactly accurate, but
it's close. It's close.
It's close.
And they're also it's also 6 times the amount of energy
Power.
can be stored inside this new size.
5
So
times the
Tesla-
power, 6 times the energy.
That's right.
So Tesla's talking about building their battery packs with these larger cans that are going to be in it. And they'll be able to reduce the amount of batteries that are in a given, I guess, sled where they're held. And they'll be pushed in a little bit, so even further protect them from side impacts. So that was kind of interesting. They've made some adjustments to the battery as well in chemistry. There's going to be multiple different types of batteries based on the application. So more nickel in more intense situations and less nickel when it's not required. So they'll be able to spread out the minerals that they need based on the application. So they talked about 3 different sets of batteries. There may be more, but yesterday they talked about 3. The next item with the batteries is that these batteries will have the ability to be part of the car's structure. They are going to build them into a pack that will be glued all together, most likely with the cooling. They didn't talk about cooling, but we believe that the cooling will be built in. And they're put into a structured piece that is going to make the car even better sturdy. So they can use less
Welds.
Welds and things of that nature with this in place. They talked about having, even if you were to cut off the roof in such a case of convertible, this solid base would make the car more sturdy than it currently is. So that's kind of interesting to hear that will be the case with this new battery pack. They also indicated that, of course, these larger cans that are going to be used will be used starting most likely with the Cybertruck, the Semi, and the Roadster. The current cars that are under manufacture, they will keep their current sizes. Their batteries will not change at this point.
Was there any talk of them selling these batteries to other automakers?
There
That
was
did come up.
talk.
Yeah.
Whether or not it happens, though, Paul, is questionable. But they are indicating that they need all the batteries they can produce, plus upping their orders from Panasonic, from Cattle, from the other manufacturers that they get batteries from. So all those they're upping their orders and producing their own. And then they talked a little bit about their Roadrunner project, which is the one that built this new battery and has spec'd it out, and talked about taking their line speeds with the new cells and pushing it basically 7 times the speed that they're currently doing at Gigafactory Nevada. So lots of movement here, lots of things moving, but basically all of these things together for the batteries will reduce the cost of the batteries by 56%.
That's huge.
Yeah, and it's over a 2.5-2-year period. So this is going to allow them to move on with not only the production of more and more batteries for these cars. The cars are going to be sold more and more. And here's the great thing about this: with the reduction of these batteries, the price of them, they'll be able to build a more affordable car.
Yeah.
And they talked about their world car or some have called it a Model 2. There's no real name for it at this point. It's just a naming convention. But we're talking a $25,000 base EV.
I like to call it the Model Next.
The Model Next.
Elon did say in a previous on-stage event that they are done with Model Asterisk until the future.
So what'll be nice is that this car for 25 grand base is going to be available in 3 years. So if
with all the options.
If you want to start saving your money, you can, because when they announced the Model 3, it was a little bit under 3 years when they announced that. So they're not, of course, there's no order taking. That's going to be another event. I'm most likely that they will show the design of the car and do the whole splash. But it is interesting that Elon has taken now the step that we're going to drop the price further based on the savings of the battery and the scaling up of the number of cars that we're making. We're able to pass that savings along and make a world car for 25K base US.
And they'll come with all the same benefits of an EV as far as savings.
That's amazing to me. So you take all those pieces, you put it together.
Buy a Corolla for 25. That's got
I mean, you're looking at a car and with improved manufacturing. I think I read in one article that by building the battery into the frame, they're eliminating something like 350 parts.
Yes.
Which further reduces the price and the overall manufacturing. The battery is getting less expensive. It's going to be built into the car, and the 1,000,000-mile battery, 25. I mean, we're talking. What you're saying is in 3 to 5 years, pretty much.
I'm saying 3.
In 3 years, and I put in the 5 because it's Elon time. So about half of the population would be able to afford an EV that would probably outlast them.
Yeah.
And that's remarkable.
Yeah, and then you consider the fuel savings, and it's equivalent of buying like a $18,000 or $20,000 car. If you can take all those fuel costs that you would have had for gasoline and put those into your car payments, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Not only that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say,
John.
and it just might be the last car you buy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
I was
come out
going
with something
to
new
say
and
that was
cooler.
going to affect the used car market, but okay.
In the used car market, yeah. So, I mean, basically what that means is in 5 to 10 years, the used car market for internal combustion engine vehicles is just going to bottom out.
Yeah. So you've got 3 years, people. Figure out what you're going to do with your used ICE cars, because it's something. I just can't believe that people would not take the option of buying a car that has a track record, a company behind it that has a track record of selling an exciting car that people want to buy. And I think that's, if you think the Model 3 caught the world by storm, this world car is going to do double that at least. So it's going to be interesting.
The reason behind his test drive of the ID3.
Oh,
Because that's probably right. Like
competition.
They're targeting €30,000 for the ID3.
Yep.
It's roughly what he's looking at. Maybe he's looking at that size. Maybe he's looking at Europe. So just getting ideas, I guess. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Another point that I'll go over is that Tony touched on manufacturing. That sparked me that there was, of course, talk about the new die-cast machinery, size of a house, that's putting out just a few parts as opposed to hundreds of parts for the front and back end of the Model Y. They had developed a new metal that is poured into these casts and then pressurized. And then this new metal doesn't require a curing or an application after it comes out of the cast. So that treatment typically in the past would cause parts to warp and change shape slightly, whereas this new procedure doesn't have any of those problems. It just comes out of the cast and is ready to be cooled and then placed inside an actual unit. So that's a big plus for them, and it lowers the cost of the cars as well. So
Oh,
It makes
hey,
the whole bottom of the car and the unibody. It makes it 3 pieces.
Wow.
that just made me wonder if they went to a smaller car like this new World car, will they be able to do that as just one
One piece.
big casting?
possibly.
It might fit in the machine.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Wow.
And then the final piece, of course, the show piece they showed near the end was that the Model S Plaid has
Yes.
been revealed. And it now will go on sale before the end of next year. The tri-motor, 200 horsepower, the 1,100 horsepower, 200 mile per hour car that will do 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds and
Oh
will
my
do
God.
a quarter mile in under 9 seconds is going to be released to the public for $140,000 US.
Wow.
Brooks from Bragg.
I need one of those so that I can sit in Chicago stop and go traffic with style.
So Brooks from Dragstein brought up the point that it's actually illegal to run that car on most drag strips in the country because it doesn't have a roll bar or parachute.
Oh,
Wow.
So, that's for the high-end buyers that are looking. And of course, there was an interesting article put out just today where they compared it to the cost of the Taycan and also the cost of the future Lucid car. And of course, the starting price is lower and the specs are higher. So
And it's $20,000 cheaper than the original P100D with Ludacris.
So
Right.
very interesting. Tesla's got a lot of things going on. The other thing I'll comment on is that the crowd control at Tesla for the event, everyone was sitting in a car. It was like a drive-in theater where the event
Of
happened.
Model Ys, of brand new Model Ys.
And people were beeping
There's
and
the reason,
flashing their horn. So interesting event, different in the days of COVID.